Alright, so this is going to be an Elise
Only the
tutorial.
spider is safe in her web.
Just a intro to her and some of her jungle pathing and choices, etc. So, for Elise runes, I am running attack speed reds, armor yellows, AP blues, and AP quints. Alternative choices here would be hybrid pin or magic pin reds, scaling health yellows, magic resist per level blues, or flat cooldown reduction blues, and quintessences can be move speed, attack speed, penetration, AP, anything that you want more of. Masteries, I'm going 12-0-18 with a focus on damage. Elise can do well in team fights later, but early game, if she can get a few ganks off, get her lane snowballing, that's best. Her E is fantastic, just gets lanes going. Summoner spells, these are pretty much your only two options. You could argue for Ghost here, but it's not a solid argument. 9 times out of 10, a champion will take Flash. Elise is no exception. She's a jungle, she takes Smite. Go ahead and get in the game. So, that's just a quick go-through of Elise's abilities. Elise is a transformation champion. Her R is available to her at level 1. It is an ultimate, but is not something that has a really long cooldown or does a ton of damage. So she will change from a human form that has a ranged attack and slower movement speed to a spider form that has a melee attack and faster movement speed. She gets about plus 30 movement speed in spider form. All of her abilities in human form cost mana. All of her abilities in spider form do not. They cost nothing. Her Q in human form is a percentage max health point and click, so not a skill shot. Her Q in spider form is an execute. So with her Q in human form, the more health they have, the better off you are. With her Q in spider form, the less health they have, the better off you are. In spider form, it's also a gap closer. Her W in human form is a point-and-click go-to-location scout that will explode upon coming in contact with an enemy, or after a number of seconds, it'll also try to chase an enemy down if it sees them. In spider form, her W is a attack speed steroid for her and her spiderlings. Her E in human form is her cocoon. It's a stun that scales with level. And in spider form, it is repel. This will drop aggro. If you have it, it makes you intargetable to enemy skills. And you can then repel back down within that circle to an enemy.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Starting items, Hunter's Talisman is recommended over Hunting Knife or Hunting Machete. Mainly because it has mana regeneration while you're in the jungle. 3 health potions is recommended over refillable potion. These are interchangeable. It depends on how you want to do jungle in the early levels. Whenever you first start off, you come out in spider form, you move faster, and you come out here to be able to scout. You don't level up any skills most of the time, because if the enemy chooses to invade and you need to be able to get out quickly, you may need your cocoon in human form. So if I leveled up my W because that's what I want to start with whenever I start jungling, then I wouldn't have my cocoon to be able to get out. So you leave your spells blank until it is certain that you're not getting invaded. It is certain that I'm not getting invaded. And Elise starts in human form with her W. Now with the Gromp start, you want to smite the Gromp right away. This allows you to use the Gromp passive, or smite benefit, right away. And that is he does damage to himself because he's attacking you. Second ability is Q. You lead camps with Q. So start Q, auto, W, and I'm kiting away from the blue buff so he can't punch me. Change the spider form whenever he reaches me. This allows my spiderlings to go to town. And as soon as I got into spider form, I W'd. Still kiting him around, still kiting me around. So I WQ, kite him around a little bit, and I execute in spider form to do the most damage. The lower health they are, the more damage my Q is going to do. Notice how I'm pretty decent on health. I have used 2 potions though. Alright, so with this, lead with the Q, Follow up with a W for the AoE damage. Switch to spider form once you can't kite any further. Watch these bars. See how it went to yellow? He has switched aggro to one of my spiders. If he does it again, he drops another bar. That is his patience. If that runs out, he goes back. He will ignore you and refill back to full health, and it will heavily delay your clear, and all the damage you've taken will be meaningless. Right, level 3, I can either take my E, or I can put another point in Q. It all depends on if I think I'm going to get invaded or not. This will help me against an enemy champion, not against camps. Start out, Q, W. The W does the AoE damage. Whenever I can't camp anymore, or kite anymore rather, then I switch to spider form and go to down. I can switch out, and another burst of AoE, and then the execute. Okay. I intentionally did not smite there so that I can smite it red. Ward the red bush here. Cool. Now I know if I'm going to get invaded. Start with Q, W, I can even E to stun him up so he can't attack me. And then if I'm worried about getting invaded, I am not going to get out of spider form. And I messed that up. If I did that correctly, I would have just one-shot the buff from higher health so that no enemy could steal it from me. You want to save your smite on red because that's generally when people are going to invade me. But now that I have good health, I'm going to go ahead and finish up my camps. And since I'm about to go B, using up this second thing smite, no problem. From here on out, your priority is Q. And obviously, you level up your R anytime you get the opportunity. Priority becomes Q, W, E. You can argue E over W if you want longer stuns. So first purchase, Tracker's Knife. It recommends Stalker's Blade. I go against that. I'm going to get a Vision Ward, a couple of health potions, and I'm going to change out my yellow trinket for a red. This will help greatly whenever I'm ganking. I'm going to leave the jungle via mid lane. This way I can get to either top or bot faster if need be. They're under tower. Obviously he's by himself, but he's not under tremendous threat. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit. Like, let's say that I don't have anything for ganking. I'm going to go through and clear until I've got the opportunity to gank. Notice there, Q, W, E. Switch over to spider form. And I used my Q early here. Just got a bit of damage off. If I'd have saved it, I technically would have had a faster clear there. So my jungle is clear, and let's say I don't see any gank opportunities, I'm going to go for the Scuttle. For Scuttle, if he is CC'd, he gets reduced stats. Alright, so I've cleared out my jungle, and now I'm going to go ward. So here's my pink ward. It's a perfect spot for it. Now I'll get great views of the enemy jungle. Alright, so let's say that I'm ready to look for a gank. Mid lane looks good for a gank. First thing that I'm going to want to know is what is the lane position here? Is he pushed up a little bit? No, he's about in the middle, but he's a melee champion, so he's got to go up to CS, so that's fine. Next thing, what is his health like? He's gankable, so is my mid laner. She may be a target. Summoner spells, so this lets me know, did he burn Flash? Did he burn whatever other thing he has? He doesn't have Flash. He has Exhaust and Ghost. You're fine.
Okay. Just making sure.
So, has he burned anything?
He's mid-lane, but...
Mid lane is gone.
Sorry.
Anyway, so next thing you do is you find out summoners. Summoners are going to determine how you want to go at it. If they still have Flash, maybe you go in thinking, okay, I'm only going to burn Flash. No big deal. Other than that, CDs. So any cooldowns they may have. So did Jax just use his stun? If so, this is a lot safer. Anyway. Next up, where's the enemy jungle? I have this, hopefully I've seen him. Maybe he ganked up here, and I know that down here is a nice safe bet. Enemy jungle is important to know about. Next, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to red trinket. This bush is normally warded, so I'm going to red trinket this bush and run past it. If there's a ward here, I would not attack it. Finally, I'm getting up in close range in order to guarantee that my E hits. After that, go to town. This, if it weren't against bots, would be a poor decision. I can go up with my E to avoid damage, and we get the kill. Again, doing dumb things here, but that is primarily because we're against bots. So let's go ahead and do that again just to show the full gank path. So first item, Runic Echoes, so get part of that and boots. And what you would do is you would go to a part of your jungle that is still available, and go through mid lane, get into the jungle, clear the jungle, and then look for a gank on either side of the jungle or complete the jungle pathing. But for the sake of showing another gank, we're going to go through here, and, whoop, Karthus ulti. I'm going to go through here. Now, he's got all summoners, I don't. Fiddlesticks is not going to lead the gank for me, so I'm going to have to do this myself. So, I'm going to walk in human form, until I get to a point where I can guarantee the E will hit, and then just go into the other form for damage. Big thing is getting into range for the E to hit. You don't want to force the E. Now, if you've got a lane that's going to be able to follow up on your CC, like I've got a Lux right here. So if I land crowd control and there's no minions in the way, I know she'll be able to follow up on it. So I could do a flash E to initiate, or she could do her crowd control first to initiate. Either way, that's about it as far as Elise goes for the early levels. Whenever you've got some pressure, some last points, if I've got pressure on the enemy, I'm going to be in here warding. So good ward locations, here, here, and any of these. Since it's pink ward, I would put it somewhere back here defensively. So, that will just about do it for Elise in the early game.